want to start out with like 2 hours of cardio out of nowhere. Like that's ridiculous. Your body's going to adapt to that 2 hours of cardio. And by the time you're done with cutting, you're going to have to do even more than 2 hours of cardio if you still want to be in a deficit. So start off just small, super light, like 15 minutes after the workout, and gradually increase the cardio over time. But, you know, you can do all the cardio in the world. If you're overeating or you're just not eating enough calories, you're never going to hit your goal. So first step, go to the TDA calculator, get a scale, weigh yourself every single day, track your weight. If you're trying to lose belly fat, lose 1 to 2 pounds per week. If you're not losing belly fat, decrease your calories by another 200 to make sure you are. And set up the protein, like hit about 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. Do a slight deficit, so really just like 200 to 500 calorie deficit. How often? Just cardio after every lift, right? You don't want to do the cardio before lifting. You'll gas out. It'll be too much. Like you want to save all your energy for the compound lifts. The compound lifts is what you should be starting with. You know, bench, squat, deadlift, follow split to make sure you get strong on those. And don't do like too much high intensity stuff. Like high intensity cardio or too much running. That can kill your gains too, right? Because if you're not recovering from that, what's going to happen is you could do a run, and then you'll go to hit legs, but you'll be exhausted from the run you did the other day, and you won't be able to train legs as hard as you could. So the type of cardio you do does matter for sure, and that's why I always say just do the walking, right? Do the low intensity walking. It's not going to kill your gains. You can recover from it easily. And this will help you preserve the muscle mass as you cut down and lean out. Now, you just do it right after the lift, or you do it on separate days. But then you want to use an Apple Watch to make sure your heart rate's pretty good. So right now, my heart rate's honestly hella low. Ideally, let me speed it up a bit. I want my heart rate to be about 120, 140 beats per minute. And I do this by setting the incline to 12 and the speed to 3. Now this is not actually a treadmill. This is a walking pad. So I can't really get it to where I'd like it to be. But this is a little better. This is where I can comfortably, still talk, but I'm getting a bit of a workout. The speed is solid. I'm in that fat burning zone. I'm doing zone 2 cardio, right? It's exactly what you want. It's the best type of cardio for burning fat. The guys you look up to, Jeff Side, David Lade. Well, I don't know about David Lade, but Jeff Side, C-Bum, all the dudes with the best physique, they're doing like 30 minutes to an hour of cardio every single day. When they do their bodybuilding shows, when they're trying to get shredded, they're doing cardio. They're doing this type of cardio too. They're not goofing. They're not just like, they take steroids, obviously, and that's why they're so jacked. But they also are putting in the work, and that's why they're so shredded. That's why they're like 10% body fat, because they'll do this either fasted or after the workout, and they'll do it 30 minutes to an hour, and they don't miss. Chronometer is so convenient. Interesting, man. Why do you like Chronometer better than MyFitnessPal? I might have to check that out. If it's really that much better, either one, as long as you're tracking, that's the most important thing. But, it all, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Like if you've got everything, if you've got a full routine, if you've got a cardio routine, a weightlifting routine, and you're still failing, then it's because you just can't stay consistent, or the motivation isn't there. So it doesn't, like you already know what to do. You probably already know how to do cardio and how to train, right? So if you're not seeing results, it's about why. Like what is holding you back from committing to the plan? Is it the weekend binges, going off track, eating out during the weekends, having like way too many beers, or overeating on pizza, burgers, and fries. If that's the problem, then you got to find a way to stop yourself from going out and overeating. MyFitnessPal is age restricted. Just change your age. Switch it up. They'll never know. They're not gonna know. You don't wanna let that stop you. Even if it's not technically allowed, it doesn't matter. You gotta hit the macros. You gotta hit your protein goal. You gotta hit your fats. You gotta hit your carbs. If you really want to get shredded, that's what it takes. Switch the location if you have to. Lie about your age if you have to. Or just get Chronometer or use ChatGPT. That is a little minor detail. That's not, you can't let things like that just stop you from reaching your goal. You know, you can't let the weekends stop you from reaching your goal. If one of your buddies is like, yo, you know, come on, let's go get some pizza tonight. You gotta find a way to have lower calorie pizza, or you eat the pizza and you just have a lighter breakfast. You just have straight up protein for breakfast, and that's it. And then you save your calories later in the day so you can go and have that pizza. But a lot of it is less about lifting, and it's more about moving more, eating less to get a six-pack. So you got to figure out what's your choice. Are you going to starve yourself? Try and eat less? Or are you going to move more? What do you want? What are you going to do? Because that's the only option. I mean, of course there's other strategies. Doing different refeeds, diet breaks, things like that. And that's a good strategy to do. Like for instance, if you're on super low calories, like 1500, then you definitely need to do a reverse diet, because you could lose weight with way more calories than that. If you're a grown man eating 1500 calories, bro, you're just screwing up your metabolism and you're screwing up your testosterone. It's the worst thing which you can do. And that's exactly what happened to one of my clients, right? He came to me, he was eating 800 calories. We bumped him up to 2,000 calories, right? And he looks bigger and he got leaner at the same time. Breezy, you gotta go. All right, see you, man. Hey, Breezy, if you want a nutrition guide, you want a guide breaking down the best foods for building muscle, losing fat, shoot me a DM on Instagram. Anybody who wants a guide on the best foods, because like I said, not only is the calorie amount important, but the food you eat is super crucial. So if you want it, shoot me a DM on Instagram, I'll send it over. And if any of you are serious about getting in the best shape possible, you want to speed up this whole process, just fast track the result. You know, so you're not spinning your wheels, apply for coaching, link in the bio or link in the description. But you gotta be serious about it. And you can't let anything stop you. You can't let the weekend stop you. You can't let this, you know, that like, because like you gotta understand, like 1 to 2 days of bad eating could set you back weeks, months even. If you do a crazy cheat meal, that could really, really ruin you. So people ask all the time, like, hey, can I have a cheat meal? Is that allowed? Well, what do you mean by cheat meal? Is your cheat meal 20 Big Macs and ice cream? Nah, that's a cheat day in a cheat meal. That'll ruin you, that'll set you back. But if your cheat meal is like Big Mac and fries, it's like 700 calories, something like that. You make it fit, 100% doable. 100% you're chilling, right? But you got to define what a real cheat meal is. A cheat meal that's tracked and measured, you're on it. And this is how you make sustainable progress. This is how you can still eat your favorite foods and get shredded and jacked and get to your goal. But you do it by fitting it into your calorie and your macros. But if you just say, fuck it, I'll eat a Big Mac and I'll be okay, and you don't track, and then you end up drinking a milkshake and some beers after that, and then next day you feel bad, and then you decide to skip the gym, and then watch TV and have another cheat meal, oh man, you're in the cycle now. You're in the rut. You got to break out that rut. You got to get out of that mindset where you're thinking all or nothing, because it's not all or nothing. If you're a brand new beginner, all you need is like 3 hours a week, 3 times a week, 1 hour in the gym. Even if you're experienced, you could do that and get amazing results. Get 10,000 steps a day and you're chilling. Mark, appreciate the follow, man. Mark, are you on the cut or the bulk? I'm curious, guys. If you're on a cut or a bulk, drop it down below in the chat. I'm gonna assume most of you guys want to get shredded because, well, it's basically summer. And who wants to be fat during the summer, right? But sometimes you gotta thug it out. Sometimes you gotta go through that lean bulk, even during the summertime. Because sometimes you're too small, and if you try and cut when you don't have any muscle mass, well, you're just gonna look small. You're not gonna have that impressive physique. So you really gotta thug it out and get those 2 years of lifting or more, and just bulk properly. Commit to the bulk the entire time. What's your name? Boogie? Boogie, you're cutting? How much are you trying to cut, Boogie? Because realistically, when I cut, it doesn't have to be long. Since I did a lean bulk properly, I'm only 188 pounds. Previously, I bulked up to 200 pounds in the past. Got kind of fat, not gonna lie. And that'll take me a long time to cut down. Last summer, I had to cut down 30 pounds in 5 months. This time around, for one, I gotta decide if I really wanna cut or just keep lean bulking. But I'm at the point where I think I'm really just gonna main gain out from here. I might throw in a little cut, but I don't really have to cut hard because I just committed to the bulk, to the lean bulk year round. Not using the bulk as an excuse to get fat and binge eat and have cheat meals and dirty bulk because, well, you'll just look like shit. It's not worth it. You don't have to do a dirty bulk to get jacked. You can do a lean bulk and get in amazing shape as well and still build muscle. All it really takes is 10% calorie surplus, 200 to 500 calorie surplus. Now for cutting, same thing. You really just need a 200 to 500 deficit. And when you, like I said, when you hit that plateau, you add in more, you either decrease calories or you add in more cardio. But if you're not doing that, if you're trying to be a perfectionist, only eat chicken, rice, and broccoli, you got to ask yourself, like, how long are you going to be willing to do that for? How long are you going to sacrifice the foods you love just for a temporary, short period of time? No. Fitness is the rest of your life. Fitness is a lifestyle. It's not a shortcut. There's no shortcut to getting your dream physique. It takes years, and you have to find the plan that works for you. So if you're thinking like, oh, you can just eat chicken, rice, and broccoli for 3 months and that's it, nah, it's gonna take longer than 3 months. It's gonna take as long as it needs to take, but you should never stop. Because if you stop, you fall off. You get soft. You start building up that gut again. And nobody wants that. But the real reason is you gotta ask yourself, why are you doing it? Why do you even want to cut in the first place? Is it because you're trying to attract your dream future wife? Or is it because you're trying to just level yourself up, just see how jacked you could possibly be? But if you don't have any sort of goal, you're just going to the gym to go to the gym, well, that's why you look the same. That's why you go 5 times a week and you don't see any single difference in your physique because you didn't set a goal for yourself. That's why every dude looks average. well, not every dude, but that's why you see dudes who've been training for like 4 to 5 years, and they have no difference in their physique because they never set a goal for themselves. Going to the gym isn't good enough. It's really not. It's something that everybody should be able to do. You should be able to find 3 hours out of your week for the gym. And if you can't go to the gym, do it at home. Do a home workout. If you don't have any weights, if you don't have a dumbbell, do a body weight workout, calisthenics. But obviously, if you have some dumbbells, you have some weight, you'll be able to grow so much more from progressive overload. It'll make a massive difference. Without progressive overload, you'll notice you kind of stay stuck. You kind of stay off. And you'll never get that dream physique, because when you go to the gym, it's about beating your previous self. That is what it's about. Not just staying average, not just staying stuck. So you can't out-train a bad diet. Like, you can't just do 3,000 calories on Saturday if you need to have 2,500 calories to be in a cut. But if you track, you change cardio, you can still get lean and have the burger, but it's all about the pan. So, I mean, let's see. Like, I'm curious though. Drop your split or drop your macros in the chat. What type of split you're doing, or what macros you're following, because the split doesn't matter too much as long as you enjoy it and you're getting progress from it. Personally, I do push-pull legs, but drop what split you do in the chat. I'm curious. If you do upper lower, or if you do push-pull legs or something else, let me know. Arsh Chaham, what's going on, man? How are you? What do you do? Do you work out in the gym? Do you follow a weight training split? That's another mistake. I've had a client who was going to the gym, but he wasn't following any sort of split. He was just doing whatever he saw on TikTok that day. He was doing the next workout that popped up on his feed, but not actually the workout that he needed to do to see progress from. So it's super key, super important to have a structured split, but you don't want to overcomplicate it. Like, you could really get results with every single one of them. The main thing is progressing and finding the exercise that worked best, because you might do an exercise and find no contraction. Like, you might do a tricep extension and you could be missing out on gains because your form is wrong, or because you're not doing as hard as you're not doing like the form properly, and you're not training to failure, or you just don't have that mind muscle connection. But if you do a skull crusher with a barbell and you find you get a better contraction with that, then do that exercise. Don't do an exercise just because it's in your split that you saw online. Like, do the exercise and swap out the exercise if you find a better one. But it's key to do like what you genuinely enjoy. Like, personally, I could just do a bodybuilding split, but I don't want to just look big. I want to actually be strong. So that's why I do power building. I do powerlifting and bodybuilding, both. So I do, first, like I said before, I always want to prioritize the compound lifts. I either want to start with a bench or a squat. And I actually don't deadlift, I do RDLs, because I find that with the RDLs, I get more hamstring growth. So that's what I care more about. But the squat, it's like, yeah, I could do a leg press, but with a squat, that's real world strength. I'll actually need to use that in my day-to-day life. I'll actually need to, squat somebody, somebody's fucking dead on the ground. I gotta lift them up. That squat, it's gonna come handy. Or if there's something I gotta carry, like a big suitcase from doing a squat, from improving my squat, I could use that and actually apply it in my life versus just doing a leg press. When am I gonna need to leg press something in the real world, right? Doesn't make sense. So I want not just muscle growth, but I also want functional strength. And like I said, basically, the whole thing I'm trying to say is if you're lifting 5 times a week, you've got that down, like that's amazing, that's great. But that's just one part of the process. There's the nutrition, there's the sleep, there's the cardio, there's the activity, and then there's your head, your mindset, and actually just following the plan that you said you were. So you gotta have all of them together. Like the nutrition goes with the training. You know, you have the pre-workout and you have the post-workout meal. It's a smooth process, and if you're missing one of those things could hold you back from reaching the goal. You know, if you're training hard and even eating right, but you're not sleeping 8 hours and you only sleep 5 hours, whew, your cortisol, it's gonna be crazy, bro. You're gonna run into a lot of issues. You're not gonna be recovering properly, right? So make sure everything is dialed in. And you gotta ask yourself, if you can't dial one of them in, and you feel disappointed, you feel like you're not progressing, just know you will never feel satisfied. Just know you're not gonna be happy with yourself if you're missing one of those things. If you're missing the workouts, if you're missing the progressive overload aspect, you're gonna feel like shit in the gym, even though you go to the gym, but you're gonna feel shit about yourself if you're not progressing, if you're not seeing results from it. So figure out what exactly is holding you back, whether it's the progressive overload aspect, the sleep, the right training split, the right nutrition. Figure out what's going on. Like, be honest with yourself, and then actually fix it and attack it. And this is why I say take progress pics every single week. Because not only, you know, the scale is good to track, but really just how you look in the mirror. If you don't see a physical change in the mirror, one thing, figure out what's going wrong. And a lot of guys can't even face that. Like me personally, when I first started, I didn't want to take any progress photos because I just felt skinny. I just felt skinny fat. But now, I wish I took so many more because I'd like to look back and see the real change that I had, and you can change fast. I mean, these pictures right here, I mean, I lost 30 pounds in 5 months. So that happened very, very quickly, but that was because I had everything in place. So a lot of people want to know, how long does it take to see results? I'd say within 1 month, you could see a slight change, but really, you got to give yourself at least like 2 to 3 months to see a noticeable, like, decent difference. And that's just for losing fat. Building muscle, whew, that's gonna take a lot longer. That's gonna take more like 8 to 9 months or so. I mean, you want to bulk basically for as long as you can without getting fat. Once you hit 20% body fat, start your cut. So, if any of you need a more tailored plan to speed up the progress, the whole process, instead of spinning your wheels, you want to be held accountable to make sure you don't fall off, then apply for coaching, link in bio or in the description. I'm taking on more people, but you got to be serious and you got to be committed. Like I said, if you want a nutrition plan, full new guide, or you just have any other questions, DM me on Instagram. I reply to all my DMs. But I appreciate you guys watching this video, sticking to the live stream. Let's go. Love the support. And this is only the beginning. Make sure to drop a follow, subscribe to make sure you don't miss out on another live stream. Turn on your post notifications, everything. Let's go, chat. Let's go. Peace.